I told myself, oh, so I need to go further to learn about this, because there are different types of cheerleading. There's all-star cheerleading, there's team pump cheer, there's double freestyle pump cheer routine for doubles. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to focus for now, on team pump cheer, where you have to use the pom poms and form lots of, formations, spellings, and all of that. So that was actually with simple. But I wanted to go into all star, cheerleading. So
Hello, everybody. You're welcome to Just for Women Africa, and my name is Olaleko Amusa, the founder of Just for Women Africa. And today, we're in a Zoom interview all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. We have with us Lian Chi, who is the founder of Lian Concept. She's an entrepreneur. She's also a cheerleading coach, and she'll be talking to us about how she got into the business of cheerleading and what it's all about. Lian Concept is all about. All right, Lillian, you're welcome to Just for Women Africa.
thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, Lillian. Before we get into Lian Chi concept, could you just tell us briefly about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Lillian Lianchi. I am an entrepreneur. I'm actually a mother of two, and I'm into cheerleading sports. And I'm actually from Nigeria. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Lillian, that's great to know. All right. So, can you tell us how did you get into cheerleading sports? Is this something which is actually needed in Nigeria?
Wow. Cheerleading sports, that I'm very passionate about. Okay, so first of all, I actually started with dance, and I've actually been educating people and coaching people on dance, like ballet, hip hop, contemporary dance, and all of that. So I'm actually a dance teacher. And so about cheerleading, well, I actually started cheerleading as a result of watching a movie called Bring It On. Right, so Bring It On is actually a cheerleading film, and I watched that about 15 years ago. And after watching the movie, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I kind of like thrilled with the way the athletes in the movie, the way they cheered, the way they took people up, the way they had synchronized performance, beautiful routines, and the way they could tumble, put up stunts without stress and still enjoying it at the same time. So I had to see the movie for God knows, maybe more than 12 times, maybe more than 15 times. I was like, seeing it over and over and over again. I so loved it. So I imagined, I mean, at that point, I was like, how can I do this? I love the movie so much. And when I started dance, I was like, okay, so cheerleading is actually a thing that we can probably start among schools, all right? Because I teach children on how to dance in schools, So there was a time a particular school was having their inter-house sports. I was like, I think cheerleading is going to fit in, for their performance for the term, So what I did was I had to go back to the movie, had to check out for, cheerleading, So I decided I brought some children together and they taught them a routine. So after the display, like parents really loved it. They loved it, and the spectators were really, really excited about it. I was like, so this is it. This is going to continue, So at that point, so every time I will have to, every second time I will have to introduce, cheerleading performance, So that became a thing. So I told myself, oh, so I need to go further to learn about this, because, there are different types of cheerleading. There's all-star cheerleading, there's team pump cheer, there's double freestyle pump cheer routine for doubles. So I was like, okay, I think I'm going to focus for now, on team pom chair, where you have to use the pom-poms and form lots of, formations, spellings, and all of that. So that was actually with Temple. But I wanted to go into all-star, cheerleading. So of course, I have to. I found a coach from the UK. So her name is Coaching from Unity All Star. She actually came to Nigeria and taught us what we call the real cheerleading. So people loved it, the athletes loved it. So we're like, okay, so we needed to have trainings on how to train people. So that's how she trained us on level 1 and level 2, level 1, level 2, level 3 coaches training, and then from there we just moved up. After that, we had to also invite some other coaches from Canada, from USA, so that became a thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's really nice to hear. That's really great to hear. That's really great to hear. Okay, so how long have you been, has Lianqi concept been around for?
Okay, so Lianqi concept has been around for 13 years. Actually, yes, 13 years. So for 13 years. So basically we're into dance and majorate. Majorate is also another sport as well. And then cheerleading. So now the reason behind the name Lianqi concept is the fact that, of course, my name is Lillian and my Igbo name is Chineye. So with that formed Lianqi concept. Right. So the truth is, it was actually started by me, but now we have a team working together to make sure that Lianqi gets to the next level. So Lianqi is basically into cheerleading, majorate, and dance, actually.
All right, that's good to know. 13 years is a long time. All right, so let's talk about cheerleading. Basically, it's been around for 13 years. So how do you get children on board? Do you go from various schools to various schools in Nigeria, introducing the concept to them, or they approach Lianqi concept?
Okay, before cheerleading started, of course, we've been teaching dance in various schools. So it wasn't that difficult to introduce cheerleading in schools. But the truth is, people were asking, what is cheerleading? Because it's a new trend, right? So people are like, what's cheerleading? How can our, children, benefit from this? So requested why I had to introduce it, after defending what the sport is and the benefit, to the children, So we had to go from school to school to introduce it. And for some schools, they actually requested for it because of the need, because cheerleading is basically very, very important and useful, especially during, sport activity. Remember, cheerleading is an entertainment sport, so you can serve as entertainment when you have the athletes coming to showcase and also cheer the athletes and all of that during sporting activity. And it's also competitive where you have different teams coming to compete together, for them to win trophies, medals, at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. So you've been around for 13 years. What has been some of your challenges with actually bringing out the cheerleading concept in Nigeria? And, what are some of the challenges running it as a business and as a woman actually running it?
Okay, so it's been challenging, trust me, but very far from giving up, right? Because cheerleading requires a lot. Because at the end of the day, cheerleading involves people together. They chant, the tumble, formation of human pyramid, there's jumps at the same time, right? And this is happening just within maybe 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And it's actually, you have to be beautiful, but for you to prepare people on how to do some certain things, you setting up the right platform, because now we have for you to set up properly and have a good environment, right? Or you need to have a good gym. right? So that requires you having a chair mat, and chair mats can be very, very expensive, right? So for you to produce, amazing athletes, you need to have chair mats. So that was a very big challenge. First of all, we didn't have the money at the time to get the cheerleading mat, and we wanted, to like produce real cheerleaders, not people, coming to like dance and all of that. So we wanted to produce the real cheerleaders who can chant, who can jump, who can, stunt and also tumble, at the same time, right? So we went from instead of getting the professional mat, we had to get some clipping mats. Of course, that was actually a starting point, right? And number two, we also had a lot of invitations for cheerleaders to come compete in different countries. So trying to sponsor cheerleaders for them to travel and for them to go represent their team, their country, in other countries was way difficult. So we couldn't travel, and it also said we couldn't travel. And then another challenge was the fact that because cheerleading is a new trend as of then, so we're like, wow, we had to explain to people basically what cheerleading is about. So when you say cheerleading, some of the boys will frown at it to say, oh, it's a garish thing. But the truth is, cheerleading is not a garish thing. So cheerleading, it's a sport that involves everybody, the boys, the girls, so there are different teams for the category you want to, join, so we have to like basically educate people, on what cheerleading is about. So some found it very difficult to understand, why some are like, oh, by the time we use basketball to like explain to them, the people that come, so they hold pump on the chair, oh yeah, oh, sister cheerleading, yeah, that's cheerleading, so basically these are the major challenges we've really had.
Okay. I can imagine how challenging it is to get sponsorship for programs. All right, so the cheerleading in what age category do you allow kids to come in? Is it from like 2 years old to like 16 years old? What's the category of the age category?
Okay, so it depends on the team you want to join. Like I told you, cheerleading has different types. There's all-star cheerleading, there's team pump cheer, there's also hip-hop cheer, there's freestyle pump double, so it all depends. But for all-star, right, of course, we have different teams as well. We have the tiny team. The tiny team has between the ages of 4 to 6 years old. We have the mini team. We have the youth team. We have the senior teams and all that. So it all depends on the age you belong to. That can qualify you for the team you have to join. But for us here, we actually start with from ages 3 and above. Right, so ages 3 can join tiny team or probably novice team, and from there we take them on the foundation stage of cheerleading. That means they know nothing at all, right, about cheerleading. So we begin to teach them. So basically for Lianchi concept is from 3 years and above.
Okay, so just to be specific, when you say above, what's the limit? To 40 years old or 60 years old?
Okay. Okay, so remember we also have school teams, right? So for school teams, if it's for primary level, we have from 3 years to 10 years old. Then it's from secondary level, we have from 10 years to 16 years old. So if it's for university level, we have from 16 years to 28 years old. Then we also have the open team for people who are above 28 years old and above. So cheerleading is for everybody. Right?
Okay, I just wanted to clarify because it said and above, so I wanted to really get the age category, in place.
Okay. I understand.
Okay, all right. So what brings me to my next question, which is far away from Lianchi concept. What is it actually like doing business as a woman in Nigeria? I mean, you've been around for 13 years, so I'm sure you have a lot of experience and a lot of stories to tell. What is it actually like, being a woman and, going out there to make money like the men?
Whoa. First of all, you need to know what you want to do. That's the truth. If you don't have a definition of what you want to do, you're just going to be swimming all around and all that, right? So for Lianchi Concept, right? Lianchi Concept started out of nothing, out of nothing. But already we knew, or rather I knew, right? I like to involve everybody because Lianchi is not about me alone or have a team, right? Now, so at that point we knew, okay, I love dance a lot, and I also want to teach people. I want to, when I teach people, I watch them on stage, showcasing their talent. That interests me a lot. And in fact, I'm way more excited when I watch, athletes, when I watch, people perform on stage. I mean, showcasing their God-given talent, right? So at that point, it was so difficult to start it up. It was so difficult to bring people together, right? But we actually progressed, and to a certain point, and I told myself, this is it. The moment I found cheerleading, I just told myself, I mean, this is it. But having the right capital, to start up a business is a concern, because it was quite a struggle. Like I told you, Lianchi started with nothing. We didn't have a huge capital. We didn't even have money to find a space. It was just like, okay, we go to schools to train students, on how to dance, and also how to display, on stage and all of that. So from there we started, getting little capital and all that. So I must say that if you don't have a definition of what you want to do, if you don't have a stated objective of the kind of company you want to, start up, then you're just gonna swim. So even if there's no money to start it up, you must have a proper definition of what you want to do, stated it clearly. This is what I want to do, no matter the stress, no matter the struggle, So this, you stay focused on it before you would gradually achieve it.
All right. So about the cheerleading, which you do for Lianchi Concept. So in how many states have you been introduced cheerleading into in Nigeria?
Okay, so basically, I would tell you this is not from Lianchi Concept now, because we actually progressed from Lianchi Concept into having an association, right? So the association that is governing cheerleading in Nigeria is called CAMAN, and CAMAN is CAMAN means Cheerleading and Majorate Association of Nigeria. So that's the body that governs cheerleading in Nigeria, which I am the current president of CAMAN, right? So currently, we've been able to introduce cheerleading in about 7 states. Not easy because COVID, we actually started that before COVID, right? And but when COVID came, the sport was completely put on hold, because cheerleading is a body contact sport, so you can't do it without, touching and holding people. So some states found it difficult to come back, while some states are, actually, progressing, coming back into the sport. But fully, Lagos State is fully back into the sport, and they also have some teams in Abuja, also have some teams in Enugu and Anambra states. I mean, so these are the teams that have been able to come back gradually after the COVID.
Okay. Yeah, I understand how COVID works. I mean, COVID has really affected a lot of businesses around the world, not even including Africa. All right, so as we bring the interview to a close, can you tell us what's the future for cheerleading in Nigeria?
Wow. Okay, so in Africa as a whole, cheerleading is quite new, but South Africa have really progressed, and Nigeria happened to be the second progressing. Now, for Nigeria, we want cheerleading to, from now till the next 5 years, we want cheerleading to be outstanding. We want cheerleading to touch every state in Nigeria. And then we also want to represent Nigeria in the international world at the World Cheerleading Championship, organized by ICU, International Cheer Union, which is the world governing body for cheerleading. So we want to go there, want to go with some teams and also represent our country and stand out. Not just represent it, but want to stand out. Not because some people could be like, okay, we're new in the sport, and we want to showcase what cheerleading is about. We want to showcase lots of talented athletes in Nigeria. So we want to really stand out and make sure that cheerleading got across our great country, Nigeria.
Okay, that's nice. We look forward to seeing international competitions, representing Nigeria and Africa. All right. Okay, so as we bring the interview to a close, what's your last word and advice to women out there who want to get into business like you, but feel that they don't have the money to start and there are a lot of barriers in place?
Hey, women out there, my advice is, listen, you need to stay focused, right? No matter what we do in life, there must be challenges, but it's never a reason to give up, right? So stay focused, have a definition of what you want to do. Keep at it. I mean, keep striving, And trust me, you're going to achieve your goals. Never give up. Believe in yourself. If you do not believe in yourself and the business you are starting up, nobody will believe in it. So it starts with you, and then before people will join you, right? So I want to encourage you, that business you have in mind, just go towards, just move, start off, but have a clear definition of what you want to do. Trust me, you're going to achieve a lot. So that's what I have to say. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Lillian. All right, so to viewers who are watching who love to get in touch with you and be part of the cheerleading in Nigeria and the rest of Africa, could you give out your contact details?
Okay, so we actually have email address. If you want to reach us via email, you can send us email via Lianchi Concept. Lianchi is spelled Lianchi, Lianchi Concept at yahoo.com or Lianchi Concept at gmail.com. Or you can also feel free to call us via or WhatsApp us via 080-2454-3316. And also you can also reach us on Lagos Chair Nigeria. Our website is www.lagoschairnigeria.com. You can check out our website and see the amazing things we've been doing. Thank you.
All right, Lillian, thank you so much for coming to us, for being on the show. We wish you all the best. We look forward to interviewing again in future. And to our viewers who are watching, do not forget to like, subscribe, tell your friend who knows a friend about Just for Women Africa. Until the next show from Lillian and I, it will be bye.